guys, Megan Reed here, and I'm going to be talking to you a little bit today about social justice and how it applies to our society. What is social justice? Good question. Social justice is basically the concept of human rights and equality. So this applies to not only how we deal with that within our community, but also within our laws and our government. So basically anything can be considered social justice. So to kind of narrow down the playing field for you guys, I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I believe is wrong with society today and what we can do to fix those things. Here we go. Number 5, gender roles. I just want to say this, gender roles can suck it. No, but like really, gender roles are really detrimental to our society. If you continue to tell a guy that he can't act a certain way, or a girl that she can't go work a certain job, things are gonna get really sticky and really tricky really fast, which is kind of what they've done. Long gone are the days of the 1950s where women were the homemakers and men were the breadwinners. Today, a lot of guys are stay-at-home dads, and the women are out there making the bacon, bringing the bacon home. A recent study by UPI said that 21% of mothers who just gave birth believe that being a stay-at-home mom is no longer accepted. This kind of ideology has only recently started to pop up within the last couple years, and it definitely is different than what we believed in the 1960s or even the 1970s. Women were always the stay-at-home moms that were caregivers and nurturers to the children. Their pretty much only purpose was to pop out babies. This girl doesn't want to pop out babies anytime soon. It's important that we don't try to fit anybody within a box, and specifically a gender box. It's important to let a person grow into who they're going to become. We don't want to tell a guy that he's not being manly enough, or a woman that she's not being feminine enough. Let them become the person that they were meant to be. That's the only way that society's going to work, and that we're going to be able to see each other for who we are and accept people for who they are. Number 4, ageism and adultism. This concept is where we believe that adults, elderly adults, and children have no place within society, or that they don't necessarily contribute to society. The first thing I have to say is that idea is totally false. With elderly people, a lot of people just see them as sucking up government funding. They get their social security, they get all of these coupons, heck, they even get a discount at frickin' IHOP. But in reality, elderly people do a lot for our society. They take the jobs that not necessarily a lot of people within the normal age range want to take. Elderly people also care for other family members. So if other people are sick or hurt, or if they're young children, elderly people usually take over that caregiving role so that other people within the family can continue to work and provide for the family. It's crazy that people seriously think that elderly people don't contribute to society. The day that we stop celebrating life and the fact that we can live longer is just crazy. Now, for children, the fact that we treat them like children and they have no place in society is also wrong. That's not building our children and our youth up to become productive adults ready to take on the world. That's telling them that they're not good enough. But the fact is every generation is supposed to be better than the one that came before them, or at least that's kind of the idea that we want to instill in our children. So treating them like children and like their opinions and their ideas don't matter is not setting society up for a good generation to come, which in the end is really gonna screw you over, because when you're elderly, you're gonna want that kid to take care of you. Number 3, religious people are still people no matter what they believe. So basically this kind of goes into the idea that people who classify themselves as Christians or as Catholics or Muslim or anything else, they're kind of seen as this far off group that, you know, they're kind of just by themselves. Like, here's Christianity, here's Catholicism, here's Muslim, here's this and this and this and this and this, and whatever tradition or religion that you are, you're seen as something separate. We're not seen as a community of just people that are willing to work together and love and cherish the world that we're in. This also goes for people that are not religious. So atheism, or people that simply just don't have the same beliefs as those that are religious, they're kind of seen in their own little groups over here too. If people within religious communities continue to upset people without a religious community and vice versa, things are never going to get better. We need to continue to see each other as people, as having our own values and beliefs, and kind of respecting each other for those things. I mean, if everyone were the same, What kind of fun would that be? The world would be completely boring and we would all just be walking robots. I don't want to be a robot, guys. I don't. Now, people within the religious community have gotten a bad rap the last couple years, and this has a lot to do with the Westboro Baptist Church. Now, I'm not going to get into that craziness because there's not enough time in the world for that. But we need to realize that not everyone within a religion believes in what they believe. There are extremists in every kind of facet of community within the world. And people that do not have the same beliefs as them should not be considered within the same category. That being said, Christians should not always make sure that people that without a religion are outcasts either. They are people who have their own beliefs and their own values, and everyone just needs to love each other and accept each other. Yeah. Number 2, treatment of the LGBTQ community within Hollywood. So recently, after watching Mean Girls, I learned 2 things. 1, fetch totally happened. And 2, Damien is one of the most stereotypical gay characters in Hollywood. He easily became one of the most quoted characters of the 2000s, and everyone wanted a gay sassy best friend after watching that movie. But is that true to what the LGBTQ community is? I mean, are they all just sassy gay best friends that are hell-bent on revenge and drama? This is the way that society has chosen to stereotype gay characters within movies. When gay men don't act how we think that they should, we technically put them as outcasts and that they're undesirable, basically telling them that their only purpose in this world is to entertain us. I think we need to take the steps to ensure that this stops. We need to stop casting gay characters as stereotypical characters and stop making them the quirky best friend. I mean, what if they're the truly evil bad guy? Or what if they're just the cop on the street doing their job? We need to stop taking these stereotypes and building them into this personality that not a lot of gay people in the real world exhibit. Maybe we should stop stereotyping gay characters in movies and make them genuine people. People whose sexual preference doesn't have to be used to establish their personality. Number 1, race relations. If you've been living in the United States for the last couple years, you're probably aware of the tricky race relations situations that we've had come up. First last year with the protests in Ferguson, and this year with the protests in Detroit and Chicago. Now, all of this kind of stems from the fact that we're not able to see past our own cultures and our own communities and look into the communities and cultures of other people. In sociology, there's a term that we like to use to describe this, and that's ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is basically not being able to put someone else's culture into perspective because you're so ingrained in your own. A lot of the problems that were in Ferguson, in Chicago, and in Detroit is coming from the fact that we're not able to look into each other's lives and relate to them. PBS conducted a poll where they asked people if they thought that the race relations were the same, better, or worse from last year when the Ferguson protests first started. 58% of respondents said that race relations are worse than last year. So things are only continuing to get worse. Things are not getting better from these protests. Things aren't going to get better until we take the time to look at each other in the eye and say, I understand you. Let me know what you need help with. So there you have it, the 5 things that I think is wrong with society today. Well, kind of wrong with society. The biggest thing that I've realized about society is that we just need to learn to accept each other, to try to understand, to see things through the eyes of another person. Once we're able to do that, we're gonna unlock so many different mysteries, mind-blowing secrets of this world, of the universe. The universe is just gonna go. Well, guys, hope you learned a little bit about social justice today. So it's really important that you kind of take these lessons and you apply them to your own community. You apply them to yourself. It's kind of cliche to say, but you don't really want to judge a book by its cover. I'm Megan Reed. I'll see you guys soon.